3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all can hear us. If you can, please, you know what to do in the comments. Shout us out. Say, hey, y'all having technical difficulties. Hey, y'all sound good. Y'all sound great. We can hear you. Right now, as you can see, we shifted locations within the location. It's been a pivot within the location. We have shifted, turned the whole thing upside down. What's up? You know how we like to start every show. So if you're watching us right now, put something in the comments. Let us know where you are watching us from so we can give you our traditional horns. Where they at? Where they at? So do you think they can hear us? Can you?
I don't know. I would assume that they are hearing us right now because nobody's saying nothing. So unless they just want to watch it in silence while they don't hear
All right.
nothing,
Hey, yo, Duel Fordyce. He hears us.
Bro, what up? What up? What up?
What up, fam? Fam-a-lam.
Hoping that all is well. This feels a little weird for sure. I feel like I have to adjust to this space. Okay, Tara.
Tara Soundword.
Okay, D from the UK.
D Marie from the UK. What time? Across the pond, it's like what, almost 8 or 9 o'clock over there. The sun has set for them. Chemo Hines.
What up, Kimon?
Yo, Kimon, thank you for coming through on Carlene's.
Why you thanking him? Let me thank him.
Can I?
Oh, sorry.
I'm thanking him for coming through because I was blessed by his message about being enough. So, Kimon, shout out to you and all the value that you bring to the table.
He's a real deal right there. Like
he's a real one.
Okay. All right. That's doing too much, but I just want to say, seeing that it was he came on. I just want to say, even on here, I mean, I shout him out on Instagram, but definitely shouting him out here in this space on Facebook, like Mr. Kimon Hines, like, yo, I salute you, bro. You're doing it, and I'm just so glad that both Jamie and I connected to you, your family, in such a special way. So yeah.
Salute. Yo, we got Kayla from Chicago.
That's what's up.
Just on the south side, we were at Shiloh SDA.
Yeah.
South side, sunny south side, Chicago. So shout out to Chicago, the Windy City. We love it. Dorian Wagwan.
What up, Dorian? So Dorian was it's
Tara is from the UK too, and it's 8:43. Okay,
so Tara and D, do you guys know each other? Probably not. I know the UK is like so big.
Who knows? But anyway, shout out to across the pond.
Shout out to you, guys. Through. She said it's 8:43 p.m. in the UK, and I have caught some of the 1 a.m. enough pearls of knowledge. Okay, D.
Okay.
You've been on the I'm Enough journey too.
Wow. That's what's up. Yo,
all praises go to God. No, it's God. God is global.
God got you global.
God
you is global.
God.
Global.
We give all praises to God for being global.
Global.
Okay.
In the UK, you across the pond.
Okay.
That's what's up. Tea and crumpets.
Okay.
So it seems like Tara and D.
Okay,
they know each other. Yo.
Okay. We meeting up in the space.
Yo, this show is amazing. We bringing people together.
Yo, you on a different kind of level today.
Yo, I'm super hyped.
That's what's up. It's been a minute since we've been away from you guys. Like every
horns for each other.
Every week, like you don't understand. Like so, Jamie and I were just like, maybe we should like when we're traveling, like we somehow try to figure out how we can have these conversations So we were trying to do it when we went to Chicago, but unfortunately, by the time our flight was a late flight, and I was like, let's go live now. And he was like, nah, let's go live when we get there. We got there like at 9, 10 o'clock, and I was just like,
He was tired.
and that flight was a trip. So that flight
Yo,
was a trip.
we
So
played ourselves. I'm going to embarrass myself. We played ourselves, and we took the gypsy cab in the sky, the dollar van of airplanes, the the Pinto of all airplanes, the hoopty of all hoopties in the sky, Spirit Airlines.
yo,
Never again. I ain't never again. And I knew about Spirit before, but I was like, yo, we're doing this for somebody, not for ourselves, and we need to get away quick. But
yo. First of all, it was a last minute trip, right? We're going out there to support a friend, right?
Keep over Seaport Airlines.
Seaport.
I'm gonna tell y'all my Seaport Airlines story after this.
So, I was just like, I think I've flown Spirit maybe about like 3 times. Once I flew with the girls, which was hell because it was just me and I had this huge stroller. It was a mess. It was just a mess. And of course, Spirit charges you for everything. Thank God they didn't charge me for the big bag that I had. I guess they just assumed because I was with children, they like let me pass. But that was like the second time. This is the third time. I think this is the third time we traveled on Spirit Airlines. When we got on, first of all, we chose the comfort seats or whatever, not the front one, but the one that's right behind the whatever. For those of you who've been on Spirit, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Disrespectful.
So we get on the plane, right? And that joint, we're automatically, my bag is too big. I had my really big bag. I mean, it wasn't that big. It was like a purse, but it was like a whatever. And it couldn't fit underneath the seat. Nothing could fit underneath the seat unless you have a small little purse. So she said I have to put it on top. I was like, all right. So come to find out, we looked in the back and there wasn't anyone sitting in the back. But those are like the regular hard seats. They were harder than the seats we were in. And so we were telling the person, it was 3 of us, and that joint was like this, right? So I was just like, I was telling Jamie, I said, Jamie, tell the guy that's sitting next to you, tell him that, there's nobody sitting back there. And he was like, yeah, I want to go. And so he was not moving because his seat was far more comfortable than the seats back there. But I was like, why are we squishing up together? Like, you could just go in that space. I was like, you know what? I was like, Jamie, let's go. When we got to sit in the back, I was like, that's why dude was like, I ain't moving.
Yep.
So Jamie and I trying to find a comfortable spot. I'm trying to like lean on him, brace on him. I said, after that flight, I was like, this is the third and last time. After this, I am no longer going to, I don't care how cheap that joint is. I don't care if they sell tickets for $1. I'm going to pay my $200 on Delta or American Airlines.
Yo, and then I had the little homie sitting behind me, and he kept playing with the thing they call a tray.
That's not even a tray.
That joint.
He kept like lifting it up, and because that joint don't stay down, it just automatically flaps up, and so we trying to sleep, and that dude, the little boy, is just it was rough.
Homie was not trying to sleep. He was playing with it, and I was just like, it don't make no sense complaining.
No, because you know what you pay for.
You know what you pay for, so never again. Dorian says, I knew it was Spirit when you started the description.
Yo.
That joint is the worst.
Yo, that joint is for, and I understand, like everybody, it serves a purpose, and I'm not knocking the fact, right? There's some people that probably can't afford, other Delta's prices or American Airlines prices or Southwest.
But here's the thing,
prices.
though, they get you because by the time you finish buying everything, you could have flown on
one of those other
Delta or American. They nickel and dime you for it.
But
they can't even give you a glass of water.
Nah, that joint, you gotta pay for it. What's great? Well, you know what? They didn't. When I traveled with the girls, I asked for water and they gave it to me for free. But I feel like they really had pity on me because that trip was rough.
So I am notorious for airplanes because I'm constantly flying, preaching different places. So Let me tell y'all this, man.
Yo,
My
first of all,
man.
wait. First of all, we on our couch, so I'm gonna be like real relaxed right now because I need to listen. I need to sit back for this story.
So shout out to Kimon Hines. He used to pastor the Overton Park SDA Church in Memphis, Tennessee. Correct me if I'm wrong, as I think it was Memphis, Tennessee. So Kimon, I'm always like trying to be generous, and when churches buy my ticket to fly me out, I'm always trying to say, hey, let's find a cheaper ticket so that I could get there. So I found this airline, Seaport, and I'm like, oh, this ticket is cheap. And they're flying within the time that, I needed to travel here and to get there on time. So I was like, yo, Kimon. He was like, yo, Kimon, let's get this ticket. And Kimon was like, Seaport, are you sure about that? I was like, yeah, man, it's cheap, man. So let's just do it, right? So, yo, I'm at the airport. And when I walk into the airport, this is the first time ever the lady was like, I need to measure. First of all, she said, what airline you fly? I was like, Seaport. And she gave me that look. And then she's like, okay, I need to weigh your carry-on. So I'm like, I'm not checking this in. Why are you weighing my This is a carry-on. Why are you weighing it?
Oh my gosh, I'm crying real tears.
She was like, you got to weigh it. So I was like, all right. You know what I mean? I'm like oblivious. I'm like not asking no questions. I figured like this is new airplane policy. So they weighed my carry-on. So I'm sitting. I got to the airport early, so I said I'm going to get something to eat. This man comes out from, I guess, wherever the plane was, and he has a board with names on it. He's calling out people's names.
It's not like you want some like the plane. Like,
yo, wait, just wait. So he calling out names of people that's on this flight. I ain't hear him the first time because I'm accustomed to like flight 457 is leaving
on a loudspeaker.
Gate.
Right.
I'm waiting for a loudspeaker, so I keep hearing homeboy say, Jamie, call us hard. And so I'm right here. So he's like, okay, check. So he had an attitude with me because I ain't say my name the first time he called it. But I'm like, yo, it never works like that. You just stay the flight and you get on. Yo, tell me why it was time to board the plane. We walk through the door, me and the 6 other passengers. We walked through the door, and the plane got a propeller on the front. I was like, what part of America do we do this? Like, we are not flying to the jungle.
Right.
This
was flying out of
Dallas,
DFW, or was it Love Field?
It was Love Field. I mean, this is a major. This is like a real airport, Delta and all these other places. So I'm walking out, and I'm like, what? So that it dawned on me why the lady wanted to weigh my carry-on, because this is a plane with a propeller on the front, and we about to walk onto this plane. Yeah, it gets gooder. Hold on, I ain't even done yet. So I'm sitting on the plane.
No. Before he sits on the plane, he tells me about the plane, right? He describes this plane to me, and I was just like,
she didn't even believe me.
What? Like, first of all, I'm like, how could Kimon put you on this plane? Like, what?
Exactly. I threw Kimon under the bus.
I was like, what kind of thing is this? Like, what kind of budget they working with, right? And so he tells me about this plane, and I literally start praying down heaven because I'm just like, Lord, is my husband about to die? Is he about to die on this plane? Because I've never heard of a kind of plane like he's describing that's supposed to take you to straight Memphis.
Yo, the picture, I have the picture. It's buried somewhere in my phone. If I find it, I'm going to put it on the internet. So I'm on the plane, and we got to put on our seatbelt. That joint is like a car seatbelt that you put around like this. I'm sitting on the plane. I see the pilot and his co-pilot. Everything. I'm looking out the window. The wheels are already down. This is one of them planes where the wheels can't even go up. It got propellers on it. My carry-on luggage is on the back, and I'm just like, what in the world? Here's the craziest part. The pilot is like, we're landing in Arkansas. So I'm like, this ain't my destination. He said, we're landing in Arkansas so that you can use the bathroom, and we gonna take off in 15 minutes. I was like, hell nah. Hell nah. I ain't coming back on this joint no more. I bought a ticket for Southwest. I ain't even asked him. I don't even know if I asked him to pay for it or the church to pay for it. I bought me a ticket. I was like, hell nah. I ain't going back on that plane no more.
Y'all needed to make a pit stop.
Yo, we had to stop for gas and for people to use the bathroom.
Nah, son.
And the people on that plane, they sitting around like this is normal. I don't want to see the pilot. Like, I'm seeing everything. We flying through clouds. It's raining.
Because I think it was winter. I think he brought you when it was winter time. So I was like, what the?
I was like, why is this airline still in business? Long story short, I ain't never seen another seaport. I think they out of business now.
I
But
would hope so.
this was 2000. We were living in Texas.
Yes.
So this had to be around 2015, 16.
Yes.
There's an airline with a straight propeller on the front. Literally, deplane.
Yeah.
Like, thought I was gonna die. I really thought I was gonna die.
No,
this was
in Spirit. This was Seaport. That's the name.
Seaport
Just
Airline.
the name of the airline itself does not even sound legit. I don't know why. Like I don't know. What up, Simone? Simone is like, that's like the plane that took us to the falls in Guyana.
Yes.
They weighed us and seated us according to our weight.
Yes.
If that is understandable. If you were going to a smaller part of the island, right? Or like you going from one part to the next. But not like America, like what is happening?
States, one man had the nerve to be like, we must stop for gas to refuel if you need to use the bathroom. You can go in this.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what.
Wait. I saw a picture of the plane.
Are they still in business? That's what we should be looking up to see if this airline is still in business. Like, can I still try to fly on Seaport Airlines? No. If I saw that joint, I would have been like, wait, it's still blurry. Nah, that looks like a West Indian something.
That's the plane, y'all. That is the same plane. They probably only got one plane that they use. This is the plane I was on. You see my windows?
Nope.
Get you nope. Look, this is what boarding looks. This is what boarding look like.
Nope.
That's what boarding looked like. My man walked out the door. I'm like, why are we walking out the door? And this is what?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was. That is the Wright brothers plane, and man.
A private jet, ain't nothing private about that joint.
Nah, there was nothing private about that thing. So here's the thing, man. You pay for what you get.
It's true.
Cheap ain't always better.
Cheap is not always better. I don't care. I told Jamie, I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to have to spend the money on Delta or American Airlines. I don't really like Southwest, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to fly on Spirit Airlines anymore because I just feel like it's so disrespectful.
I thought
like it's so disrespectful. Like you can't even recline your chair. Like why?
Yo, and that's the thing.
And then the crazy thing is that Spirit now goes to they do international flights. Yo. Like
yeah, they go to Mexico. Here's the thing about Seaport. They don't got chairs. They had a bench. So all of us were on the same bench. And we had seat belts that go across.
I'm done.
I'm like, yo, this plane crashed.
I'm done.
I don't even know why you asking me to put on a seatbelt. Because we all going down.
I'm done.
I was hell nah. I am not going back on that plane. I forfeited that round trip ticket. They got one less passenger.
Yeah, to be honest, if I saw that, I would not have gotten on there. I would have been like, nope.
Yeah, they crack it up. Leah got jokes. She like Jumanji. That joint was. I was like, man, we about to fly into the gorilla jungles of the Amazon to go fight some war against the government or something like that.
Yeah, that's very scary.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is cheap is not always worth it.
Yeah, it really isn't. And we vowed as a family that we would never be on Spirit Airlines again.
Not the dollar van in the sky.
Yeah, yo, that joint is terrible. But I'm not even sure how we got here. Oh, we were somebody.
Chicago.
Said they were from Chicago.
Right.
Right. And that the fact that we weren't on for how many weeks now? We weren't on for like a month. It was almost a month since we've been on, and we've been like trying to be consistent.
Yeah, it's hard because I think with me going back to church.
Yep.
So it's difficult for us to come on. We probably have to start thinking about another night to do the show.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. I mean, Friday night, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. We'll try to figure something out because we really enjoy this space with you guys and really, chopping it up, talking about all manner of nonsense. So we're gonna try to figure it out as we go. But thanks for rocking with us and like um, just being here because you guys really make this space what it is, not
Yep.
us. Like we just kind of just sit here and talk. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great week. We are in November, y'all.
Wow.
We're we are just a month and change away from the ending of 2021. How? It just started. It just literally started. So we're talking about like we are at the end of 2021, about to embark in 2022. How?
2 years of a pandemic.
Like how did that happen? So I mean, I'm glad that we're all here, right? And we're still here. At the same time, it's just like, yo, I can't believe that this time has gone
Yeah.
by so quickly.
Yeah. Wow, Simone, that puts it perspective. 4 months from spring.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's like, for me, it's like the time is going fast but slow,
Yeah.
right? It's
Mhm.
like, I mean, I mean, we looked up, it was January, now it's November. But at the same time, it felt like it was long as
Yeah.
well, right? So it's almost like, I feel like we're all like in this twilight zone of just waking up and going day by day, but the days are going so fast. But sometimes it feels like it's forever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Kay says this has been the longest, shortest year ever.
for real.
Facts.
Facts. Give me
That's
the-
it right there.
Let me
Gotta give you
Kay some
horns for that.
horns.
Real man.
Kay
That
with
thing
the
has been
bars.
like, woo. But thank God we're still here. We're still kicking and present and accounted for. So that counts. That counts for sure. Hey Vanessa, resident nerd here. You'll
Seaport.
be happy to know that Seaport Airlines ceased operations September 20th, 2016.
Exactly.
Well, praise God. That's probably the year. That's probably the same year you flew or the year after.
That's probably the day after I flew on it. They were like, "We need to stop." But yeah, man, they weren't right. That thing should not have been around as long as it was.
They
but
took your money.
They sure did. They took my money and they almost took my life. I've never been so scared. When we fly, I'm usually
mad cool.
I'm usually relaxed and I'm cool, man. Shoot, I had never been that close to imminent danger in my life. I was like, nope. So you ain't gonna get me to. If we go to the Caribbean, I ain't flying to your little island from one. I don't want to get on one of them planes.
I am. I'm a fly.
I ain't getting in your boat. We gonna stay right here. We can send each other a text message.
Oh my gosh. For real, you gonna leave us?
FaceTime.
He's gonna come.
You're gonna have to treat me like Mr. T. Give me a shot.
Oh my gosh, you'll be just fine. Because usually it's not that far. Like it's just a boop boop. I mean, with those planes, small planes, you feel everything, every bump, every whatever. But
You see everything too.
I
The
mean-
window was. I mean, like it wasn't like a like a regular airplane window. The window was just like right.
like you
here.
driving.
Like I'm looking down and seeing beneath me. It's like nope.
Well,
Nope, not today.
It is what it is. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But I don't know if you guys have switching subjects just a bit. I don't know if you guys have. No, let me not preface it with that. So these weeks have been amazing.
Okay.
Right? They've been amazing. 27 days ago, I started a journey.
Oh yes.
I started a journey, a personal journey, and extended it to, I guess, the world on being enough. And that has been an amazing, amazing experience, an amazing journey so far, where I even now more show up as authentically as who God has gifted me to be and created me to be, just as I am, and knowing that I'm enough. So that has been great. I've even had yours truly come on and share his journey as well. And so, it's some really great things happening. So if you want to go ahead, and I don't know if you have a Instagram account, but if you do, just go on ahead and just be blessed. Real talk, by the amount of people, Kamon being one that came on and kind of shared his journey of being enough and his road to being enough. So
I think you need to come over a little. You're not centered. You're on the
do you want me to
edge.
come over because you feeling like what?
No, I just feel like that you're not centered. Like, see, there we go. Wait,
Is that better?
Too much. too much.
We on the couch now,
All right,
so
there
this
we go.
feels weird.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're good, right?
We're
We're good,
centered?
right, people? Now you can see us.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, so that's been what I've been doing over on IG, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. A lot of people have been just commenting and joining you on the journey. And yo, I'm proud that you stuck with this. What day are you on?
Yes.
27?
27.
Wow, that means, are you on
3 more
31 days or 30 days?
30 days.
Because some months have 31.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 30 days. I didn't say 31. I
I
always
think
said
you should
30.
add a bonus day for 31.
I'll probably add a bonus day just to kind of recap, but it's 30 days of knowing or God showing us how we are enough through his word. Because
Yeah.
he really does show us.
And the way they can catch it is only on IG.
Yeah, it's only on IG. I mean, I kind of
Instagram, for those that don't know what IG is.
yeah, I kind of show it on I kind of sent like posted the link in on my Facebook page, but the lives are really happening in that space. Yeah.
Trying to fix myself.
Okay. You mad quiet. Okay. So Jamie today had he's starting a sermon series on.
People don't like us. Oh, they want to know what your IG is.
So it's Carlene Calasar,
You should type it in the chat.
but it's just my name.
But they don't know how to spell your name.
Carlene.
Aura.
Aura. No.
That's how you guys.
New York doesn't say aura.
C
Do
A.
New Yorkers say aura?
Aura.
It's
No, we don't say it.
Carlene. Calasar. No K. I mean, no N. No Nolasar.
No cat.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Carlene Calasar. And you can find me if you just type in my name, whatever. But yes, you can find it there. But yeah, so Jamie's topic.
Sermon series that I'm working on that I started today. It was called "People Don't Like Us," and today I talked about just John 14:34, where it talks about love one another, right? Like Jesus gives us this new commandment called love one another. But the the reason why I got the title was because of, I don't know if you saw this floating around the internet, but the NAD, North American Division, had an annual meeting, as they do every year around this time. And at the annual meeting, they were just highlighting the numbers for the church. And the main point of it was that out of 17, and I wish I could see that list. Out of the 17 denominations that they ranked, we ranked number 13 out of the 17, and 17 being the most unfavorable. So when it came to people's perspective of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we ranked amongst the bottom 4 in regards to being unfavorable or being liked. And so I just was like, first of all, I'm like, why did we have to pay money to find that out? I think we know that already, because for most of us, we don't like us, right? Like, I think most Adventists don't like other Adventists, or we just don't like a few things about us. But I guess it was also alarming uh, to see it on paper. It's one thing to say it, but to see it on paper. And so the title of the article was "People Don't Like Us." So I was like, man, that would be a great topic to talk about. And so this morning, that was my that's what my sermon was about. People don't like us.
But going back to what you said that you don't know why they needed to have this survey done. But in any organization, data, right, is important. And I think it's a good thing that they were able to do this, right, to kind of see where they are as a church. I think it's a good thing. But at the same time, they shouldn't be surprised, because I know that at times, well, it depends. When you're, as you said, on the balcony, right? Your
true.
perspective is different. You see things differently. So I think it's good that they did that, so they could see what's really happening on the dance floor. But we all know, we are all not surprised by any of this. We're just like, oh, I'm glad that you know this now. I'm surprised you didn't have like you didn't come out saying, we suspect, or we know that things aren't as vibrant as they were years ago, let's try to shift before this thing comes out, this data comes out.
Right. But here's the thing, right? So in the article, their answer is we need to change our branding. And my thing is, this is how I feel about that answer and why it's a typical balcony answer. It has nothing to do with the people that's on the dance floor. Is today I'm coming home from church and I'm driving through Southside Dallas and I'm seeing all of these like old apartments or old not apartments. They were like, yeah, let's say old apartment complexes. Mm-hmm. And what they've done is they've just painted them white and put a new sign up just to make it look like it's brand new. Mm-hmm. But when you get inside, by me just looking, it's the same apartments in there, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, when we say we got to change the branding, for me, it feels like putting lipstick on a pig, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, we're going to change the branding, but at the same time, our core values will remain the same. What we do will remain the same. Mm-hmm. How we treat people will remain the same. But if we change the outside and the branding, then perhaps that will invite people to come in to check out our apartments. Mm-hmm. But when they come in and look at the apartments, they're like, the outside looks nice, but you have not done anything about inside. Mm-hmm. So for them to say we need to change the branding is a typical balcony response, right? No, we don't need to change the branding. Mm-hmm. There are things that happen within the church that we need to transform, that we need to let go of and figure out, get to the core issue of why people, like the people, deeper. Yeah, the people that say we don't like you because of the way your church looks. Mm-hmm. The reason why people don't like us is because we're judgmental, we're callous, and we're apathetic, or we don't care about the things that people care about. Mm-hmm. Right? So, for example, if you're a worldwide organization and predominantly a lot of your membership comes from North America, matter of fact, this is a North American division, right? And you don't have responses to gun violence. Mm-hmm. You don't make responses to poverty. Mm-hmm. You don't have statements about just things that people in these times care about. Mm-hmm. Why would you expect people to be attracted to or to listen to you if you're just more apathetic? Like Ted Wilson got some video about how to treat gay people. Mm-hmm. I think also too what was damaging to this church was their stance on women's ordination. Mm-hmm. The fact that this church is still doubling down on not ordaining women is totally tone deaf. Mm-hmm. In regard to where we are moving as a people, mm-hmm. in diversity, mm-hmm. inclusion, and tolerance, and especially towards women. Mm-hmm. And you are just doubling down because why? You care more about protecting a false identity than really ministering or looking at or thinking about what the things that people care about and how do we adjust so that we're reaching people where they are. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like the branding piece comes into play when your inside, like your core value, your core it's stable.
Right.
Right. But if the core isn't stable, then you can rebrand all you want. It's still gonna very much look like nothing, trash. Yeah. Essentially.
Exactly. Like another thing, we still sanction segregation. Mm-hmm. It's sanctioned and it's okay. Now, I'm not against regional conferences and I'm not against state conferences. I think people need to be where they feel most comfortable and more and safe spaces, mm-hmm. right? But at the same time, you're not even as a church trying to make strides in regard to dealing with the social construct called race and some of the ills that have occurred within the church in regard to how people of color have been treated historically and currently, right? So, it's just so sometimes contradictory to me. And I think like if I wasn't a 7-day Adventist, I don't know if I would be a 7-day Adventist with the way the world is and how this church operates. Mm-hmm. So to see that our numbers are plateauing and to see that, I think like the statistics said that 20%, 13 to 29 only make up 20% of mm-hmm. the population. Mm-hmm. the membership of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America. 32% of that group are over 60 years old. And I think the biggest number is 39 to 59 is about 42%. But if you look at that, that's alarming because your younger people are not engaged. And if you talk about longevity in the future, if you losing that age and then your older population is dying, you are on the brink of dying. And I'll say this, and I'll shut up because I know I talk a lot about this, and I got a lot to say.
No, you don't have to shut up.
We are on the verge of watching the Seventh-day Adventist Church have a bigger presence in Africa, in South America, and in other countries than it will be in Europe and America. That's just clearly where it's trending. And it's there already. So.
Yeah, because if the average age is 60 or 40, you said 40 or 60?
The average age of the Seventh-day Adventists is 49.
49.
And the average age of the population is 40 years old.
Yeah, that's definitely that's not okay. I can't formulate the words. That's like warning signs, right? Because if you're saying that 10 years from now, those 60-year-olds will be 70, they're on their way out, unfortunately. And I shouldn't laugh. It's not a laugh like, oh my gosh, but it's like wow, they're on their way out. And if the age of 40, that's us, right? We're in our 40s. Think about 10 years from now, we'll be 52, right? And where some of us are, the 40-year-olds, our age group, we're kind of like on this, like, we tired of the pig being putting lipstick on the pig. We see what we see. And so it's one of those things like, do we do something or do we leave? Right. Some of us leave. We're too tired to do anything because we're just like, what are we supposed to do at this point? So it's really something for us to grapple with, because those 60-year-olds, as they turn to 70-year-olds, those checks, right, that income will also be lost, right? Because more people in our age group and probably even younger are not giving. They're not systematic givers. So they're not giving the same way that those other 60-year-olds will be giving. So it's almost like you kind of see it coming to a place where something has to give. And I feel like now is the time for us to really pivot in a different way, and not necessarily wait for the hero. We can't wait for Ted Wilson or wait for the GC conference or whomever to put out a statement or to even kind of lead the way. But we have to, in our own spaces, be able to pivot, to start to pivot, where I don't know if our focus should be, or our why should be focused on trying to save it, or our focus should be more on trying to do what God has called us to do. So whether that looks like whether it comes whether the church being full is as a result of us doing it, or it continues to become empty. But I feel like our focus should not be on trying to keep filling a space, a church.
Yeah.
But it should be more on how can we pivot in a way that really calls us to reaching and teaching and loving and putting people in front of ourselves.
Yeah, so I think our definition of success needs to change. And it's so hard because we've been so accustomed to defining success by packed out churches. So we'll say because that church is full and they're putting down seats and they don't have capacity to hold people, we define that as success. But is that success in regards to what God counts as success, right? So the success should be disciple making and how many people in those pews are one, growing spiritually, and number two, how are they impacting their communities, right? Like, and I think that's one of the problematic areas. Like, I've always felt that a successful church for me should be a church that has a different congregation every quarter, right? That whole quarter, I'm training them in regard to how to go out and to live out their faith. And then I have a whole new crop that comes in. But we've become so accustomed to just pulling more people in and getting them in and having success in numbers. When God was never about that success in that numbers,
as
right?
Auntie Lucy said, the numbers game.
Right. So I think in this moment, this time, I think the pandemic has revealed to us what we already knew. But I think it's also an opportunity, a great opportunity to take advantage of deploying people, of putting them out so that they can exercise their faith. As I told the members of City Temple, one of the things about our faith for a lot of us, it has not been tested, right? It's got to be tested in real events. And that's what Jesus did for his disciples. You saw that all the time. He would train them, teach them, and then he would send them, go do this. And when they couldn't do it, they'll come back like, Lord, we tried to do this and it didn't work. And Jesus like, this is why you failed. He tested them. He put them to work. Like, y'all not just going to follow me and watch me. No, I'm going to let y'all go out there and y'all going to have to get tested. And so the question is, how many of our members or how many of our pastors are training our members to get tested?
Right.
And to have them come back and to be like, yo, we were out there and we got challenged by the Black Israelites. Or we were out there and this lady asked me a question, or this young person asked me a question, and I had to stand on my 10 toes down on my feet. And it was challenging, right? And then come back and let's talk about it.
But I think we've been not challenged. I think no, it's not a challenge. I think we've been taught that after we've given our life to Christ, that we become followers by sitting and just listening and taking it all in. Right? Our we don't want to say it. We don't want to say it. We're followers of Christ, but we're only followers of Christ and we're sitting.
Right.
It's like I'm a follower of Christ, but I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and keep listening and keep taking it in and listen to the pastor keep talking about, okay, this is what we need to do, but we don't do it in a real sense because we're afraid. Let me speak for myself. I was afraid of I felt like if I did not convince people that they needed to be an Adventist, then I was not doing the work of God. Opposed to, let me talk to this person, let me befriend this person so that they can see Christ's love and that they too will want to experience the love of Christ. Not, I'm going to preach down the Adventist message in order to recruit them into this message, to recruit them into being sitting followers and not active followers.
Right. But here's the thing, right? That fear that you said you had was taught to you. Because that wasn't innate. That fear was communicated to you by people like me, right? To whomever worked with you and studied with you. They taught you to be on the defense and to protect yourself from being influenced by people outside. So your defensive mechanism is making them like you so that you can be friends with them, not accepting them for who they are. So we've always been taught to defend. So that's why we have our own schools. That's why we have everything, because we're constantly on the defense, right? Instead of being like on the offense and open, but that was taught to you. So we've been taught too that I'll say, like, going to church every week is checking off a spiritual growth check mark on, of what pleases God, right? So every week, got to come, got to do this, got to sit down, got to not do this, not do this, not do that. And not one of those check marks is about serving my brother, or as I said in my sermon, that the early church was known for the love that they had for each other. Their devotion was about how they can put the person next to me in front of me, right? That's what they were known for. Unfortunately, we have shifted in a place where we're not known for that anymore. We're known for telling people what not to do. We're known for telling people like you can't belong to us. We're known for being very judgmental, stepping on other people, and walking around with this elitist attitude. But that's what, and the other last point is this, is that a lot of Seventh-day Adventists don't believe that when they are baptized, that the blood of Jesus was enough, that the blood of Jesus was enough to secure their salvation. And so we continue to work for our salvation through lists and rules and obligations because the cross is not enough, right? So we have this investigative judgment which says
Wow.
which says Christ is investigating you,
Wow.
which is kind of like weird, right? Because if I go to court and I am acquitted of all charges, I'm not guilty. But as I'm walking out of the courtroom, the prosecutor and the judge is saying, but we're still investigating you.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not going to walk in freedom. I'm going to walk in fear.
Right.
Because I'm still being investigated.
Wow.
So whatever you acquitted me of in that courtroom was
Wow.
not enough.
Wow.
So being baptized and accepting Jesus Christ as Seventh Day, it's not enough.
Wow.
It is not enough. I still got to work this thing. Now, I'm not preaching once saved, always saved. But what I'm saying is that I feel like for an Adventist, being baptized and accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior is not enough, right? So we got to continue to do these rules and regulations. But here's the point of it, is that I'm making is this, is that the one thing Jesus measures us by when it comes to salvation, when it comes to when he pronounces who will be the goats and who will be the sheep, it is when he says, as much as you have done unto the least of these, you have also done unto me. Depart from me, I do not know you. So when Jesus comes with this new commandment to love one another as I have loved you, was totally radical. Because everybody else that was trying to win people to whatever they want, you had to do stuff to be a part of them. It was no one was loving people the way Jesus had loved them. So for us, we have lost or forgotten or left back the identifying marks of what the early church was about. The early church was known for how much they loved each other. And their devotion to God was not by how much Bible they could memorize. Devotion to God was not by checking off checklists. Devotion to God was not doing this to get closer. Their devotion was caught up in how do I put the person next to me in front of me. And I think that's why we're losing people, and that's why we're not growing, because we have not been radical in our love, to be reckless with our love, and to just go all out in investing in how do we learn to love each other. Because that's how he says, I'll know you are my disciple. That's how they'll know you are my disciples, by your love for one another.
My God. So I don't even know. I'm like calling out God's name because I remember when I was baptized, right? And in being baptized, I was hot for Jesus, like hot in a sense where I was reading his word. I was like on it, right? But then it was always this call that in order for me to keep this fire, in order for me to keep my spiritual high, I had to somehow work, right? Work for this continued fire. So I had to try my best to do this, to involve myself in this and do this and do this and do this and do that. And it became so much, that became so much a focus than just living in love, and it being as a result, right, of my time with Christ, as a result of my time with God. Now I want to be able to show that love to other people. No, my love became, or my way of showing it was more like, I love you so much. I want you to come out of Babylon. I want to call you out of your sin. I want to call you out of your religion. I want to call you out of whatever it is that you're in and bring you into this safe space and bring you here, right? So work, right? For me, it was works by faith, where I feel like the more I worked for God, the more I did what evangelism was was like a very, there was a very strong, I guess, whatever, a very strong, what's the word I'm looking for?
Calling or
Right.
yeah,
Like the chances of me being saved, the chances of me being able to be with Christ when he comes was me doing this.
right,
And like what you just said in terms of it has to be more than that, because after a while that dies, right? It's
right,
not sustainable. It's not sustainable, like where you're always constantly on the defense and where you're always trying to prove, right? Prove that this religion is more important than just treating people with love and respect and letting them feel seen.
right, exactly. Feeling seen, like when the Samaritan woman is at the well and the disciples came and they were like, "Why are you talking to this Samaritan woman?" Jesus says, "Do you see her?" He asks us, he's like, "Do you see her?" What they saw was a Jewish man talking to an unclean Samaritan woman. And Jesus is like, "No, I see a woman. I don't see
What you
her,
see.
what you see. I don't see her background. I don't see, I just see my child." And Jesus sets himself as the standard of love, right? Love one another as much as I've loved you. And so our conversations need to be centered around how do we love people into relationship with God, right? And when we love people, then that's what makes us pursue justice, because injustice, right, it breaks people down. And so you're seeing like, okay, laws and policies that make people more poor. You're saying to myself that I love people so much that I want to change the whatever umbrella or whatever is holding them down. Now that may be different. Some people may say, I love people to the point that I want to cook for them, that I want to feed them, right? So loving people pushes us and motivates us to act in radical ways, right? Unconventional ways. So if you are just so caught up in feeding yourself, right? And then even like the whole thing with like the teaching of, you know, the amount of people you baptized and the more stars you'll have in your crown, which I think is false and problematic too, right? Because one, nobody's been to heaven, so we don't know what that is. But number two, like, I'm gonna be looking at your crown like, dang, yo, Carlene got like 1,000 stars in her crown. Shoot, I only got like 5. You know what I'm saying? And so I think even as a humans here on Earth, we use that as you know, as motivation to win people to just be baptized. And here's the thing about baptismal vows that's crazy, right? Baptismal vows, and I've been always bothered by them recently. I want to say always, but recently I've been looking at them. The baptismal vows are a lot of do you this, right? And those vows need to flip in I will help you. I will assist you, right? So it's like, do you plan to not do this? Do you plan to not do this? Now I need to flip those vows as me as a person, that if I'm reading them to you and you're coming into relationship with this, that I'm going to say, I will help you, or I will do everything I can to assist you in making sure that you continue down this road.
But the unfortunate, sorry, go ahead.
And then my last point is this, is that there is no vow in there that talks about, will you partner with us in the ministry of helping to fight against inequality, to fight for those that are down, to this or that? There's nothing like that in there that talks about our neighborly response to our response to our neighbors. The whole thing is about how will you respond to this organization to stay within good standing within the organization. And there's no record of baptismal vows in the Bible. There's no record of that stuff. There's no record of asking people to go through these ordinances and making them publicly declare in front of people that they're going to do this. It's not biblical, right?
The public declaration is baptism.
Yeah.
Just the act of being baptized. But going back to what you were saying about the vows, there aren't systems set up to support that.
Right.
And that's the problem, right? The problem is you can't say that, unfortunately, because you don't have a program, you don't have a ministry, you don't have that to be able to support or to reflect what it is that you want other
Right.
people to feel or repeat for those baptismal vows.
That's right. And so I think the church, me as a pastor, needs to be intentional and read me the vows that this person is getting baptized. I need to vow, will I make sure that this person continues to walk in the light that God, or the path that God has prepared for them?
Yeah, because it has to be. It has to be. If nothing has taught us over the years, it has to be much bigger than numbers. It
Right.
has to be bigger than programs, like a program, like a whatever program it is. It has to be bigger than crusades. It has to be bigger. Our evangelism, I don't
Right.
know, our evangelism things that we do. It has to be bigger than I want to do this because I want our church to grow in this way.
Right.
Again, how often do those baptisms happen that the majority of those people who are baptized no longer sit in the pews?
Right. And here's the thing too, right? It's like, should we be, as we go forward in that post pandemic and whenever we start opening up, my question that I ask myself all the time is, should I be what's the word, engaged or fully engaged in trying to get people back in the pews, or should I be really fully engaged to invest in people where they are and mobilizing them to be lights in the world, right? Like, am I going to default into what we already know and having awesome music and awesome this and all this other bells and lights and whistles, which I think is important? Or am I going to invest in breaking that up? That in some weeks there's time for celebration, but that some weeks there's time to be deployed and to go out into the world, as the Bible talks about, go ye therefore, right? Not come, not sit, it's go. And also be representatives of Christ and Jesus' love in this world, right? To be like, yo, you living in this zip code, this is a need in the zip code. How do we find ways to provide it? How do I just on Sabbath morning, park a dentist truck and showing people I love you enough that I care about your health, right? I love you enough to taking that concept, right? Devotion to the early church was, how can I put the person next to me in front of me? And how can I sacrifice? Because the ultimate sacrifice was Jesus. But he's told, right before he died, he says, a new commandment I give you. And then he shows them how I love them by sacrificing his life for them, so that I'm going to deal with the injustice so that you can have justice. That I am going to show you, this is my standard of love, that you have to be willing to sacrifice, to do something for others that they will never be able to do for themselves. That's the standard. That's what I want you to be known by. Because he says right after that, he says, that's how they will know you are my disciples.
Do you think for a moment the resistance that we feel, the resistance that we see towards concepts like this is as a result of people not knowing what love is?
Yeah, I mean, people not knowing what radical love.
No, but love, what I'm saying is the selfish, gimme, 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 let me sit here Sabbath after Sabbath, let me do what I've been doing for years. Do you think it's also or the people that sometimes are very contentious about these radical ways of showing and connecting, do you think it's as a result of them not knowing what love is, where they, for all their life, for all their throughout their life, like they've constantly been in that cycle of I gotta work, I gotta do, I'm not accepted as I am because I'm not enough, because I feel like I always constantly have to work and it has to look this way, and if it doesn't look this way, then I don't feel like God loves me enough. You know what I mean? Like, in order for you to show it, in order for you to be it, you have to, in order for you to be love, show love, you have to know and understand what that is first. And I feel like sometimes we miss that mark and being upset with other people because they don't know what that is. They don't know what true love really looks like. Yeah, they follow Christ, but do they really believe that Christ loves them? Do they really believe that this is the call that they have when they accepted Christ, not to shove policies or shove do's and don'ts down people's throat, but do they really realize that love is what's driving, should be the driving force? And if you're operating out of you don't have that love, then
well, it's operating out of fear, right? So like, let's just think, I mean, I'm just thinking as a child and a parent, you're fearful of that parent, so you operate out of a way to not make them angry, right? So constantly everything that you're doing or everything that you try to do as a child is not to make that parent angry, because you're fearful of what they will do to you, right? So like children who are in abuse situations, spouses who are in abusive situations, they operate out of a fear of the retaliation because they did not do something. I think in our faith as Seventh-day Adventists,
speak on it.
we operate out of a place of fear.
Yes.
That if I don't do certain things, then I've been taught it's hell for me, right? It's God will be angry, God will be displeased with me, and God is going to not put my name in the Lamb's book of life. So, and number one, a lot of the reasons, well, not number one, and I'm not going to speak generally for everybody, but for me, I was motivated more out of my fear of going to hell, right? My fear out of being burned, you know, in the lake of fire, because if I don't go to Sabbath school, if I don't read the Bible, if I quit ministry, if I stop pastoring, it is out of fear of, not because of what people say, but it's out of, well, yeah, out of what people say, but also fear out of God is going to be angry with me because I've given up on ministry and I've given up on him. And that's why a lot of people get burnt out in church, because they're more fearful of doing that than to just say that I'm tired. So I think we operate out of a place of fear because we've been taught that we are in this and God is investigating us. And we don't know when our name's going to be called. And we just hoping that when our name is called, that, you know, we check off all the marks, right? Like we're okay, so that we can get past that entrance exam, right? Like this is the entrance. We're just trying to get past that. So when you operate out of fear, you don't know what love is. You have a sick, warped idea of love, which is I got to do in order to please that person who has power over me. But when you flip it and you operate out of love, you are not okay with making a mistake, but it's okay if you make a mistake, because you know that person's going to wrap their arms around you. You know that person is going to say, it's okay. We'll figure it out next time. And when you have that kind of relationship with God, and you understand that your God loves you unconditionally, that even if you are not vegetarian, even if you slip up and ate a piece of ham one day, that your God is not going to just say you are done and walk away from you. So like I was telling one of my friends who's about to have a baby, I said, man, for those of you that don't have children, you are going to learn, those of you that do have children, you learn the love of God in a completely different perspective. You know, like I understand when we tell Caitlin and Amber, just tell us the truth. Don't lie to us. I don't want any of my children to operate out of fear of me or fear of us. I want them to know that we love them unconditionally, and no matter what mistake they make, if they do something, even if they hurt somebody, and they end up in prison, my love goes even further.
Yes,
It
sir.
does not, I don't pull it back. We don't pull it back. I'm going to love you further and more and never stop loving you, no matter what happens or what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a hard message for Seventh-day Adventists
Yes.
to understand, because one, sometimes we operate out of fear, and two, it's that we don't know what that kind of love is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't know it, then you can't show it, right? And so think about this. Can you imagine if we really knew what the love of God looked like, felt like, and then we are now being able to live that love, right? We won't show up to church faking it, because
Exactly.
we'll now be in a space. This now has presented a space for us to be able to show up as we authentically are, because we know that at the end of the day, God loves us, and my sister and my brother loves me just the same.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can see how it trickles down. Like, it feels like what God really intended. We operate so much in fear of God, right? We're so fearful of God that if we mess up, that we're gonna fear that He's gonna just, a lightning bolt is gonna strike us, and we're gonna be struck dead.
Right.
Right? The same way you see it trickle down in a church, where God forbid you do something that is outside of whatever the expectation. Oh my gosh, you are shut down, struck down by the words and the actions of people.
Right.
Versus if we operate out of a God loves me, I love you, right, kind of thing, then you understand and see how it makes sense for us to be able to go and show that love to the homeless people, or go show that love to whomever. But we can't even show love in front of each other, because we're fearful that somehow, if someone finds out, if someone sees us for who we really are, oh my gosh, we're going to be unloved, or we're not going to be shown love.
Right.
And so I feel like that's the core that no one really talks about. The core of this message should be the core of the love message. It should be, God loves me, so I know I can love you and show up for you and be there for you.
Right. And if we are not gathering every week in that building, there's no time for me to look at you or what you're doing, right? Or if we're gathering that building in the church to strategize about how we can radically love our communities, the focus comes from being on us to being on what God wants us to do. Now, what's problematic about the churches is that it's a business, right? And in that business of collecting money, self interest gets in the way. So people begin to start having say about where money should be spent, how it should be spent, because it's my money and I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. So you get into the business of trying to manage the facility and manage the work. Now, I understand at the end of the day, we collect money, but I think that we need to start from the place of love, and everybody needs to be on one accord in saying that this money is solely gathered for this. Like, we have to have a principle or a moral standard to say from the jump that this money is for the distribution amongst the poor, just like the church in Acts, where it talks about there were no poor amongst them, that they brought their gifts and they equally distributed amongst each other, and that there were no poor amongst them. So they were, once again, they were known for their love that they had for each other. They weren't known for programs. They weren't known for, big elaborate buildings. Matter of fact, there were no buildings. It was just meeting in houses. They weren't known for that stuff. People outside the church knew that the early followers of Jesus Christ were known for how they loved each other. That's what they were known for. And so we need to, in this pandemic, post-pandemic, whatever going forward, we should have been doing this before. We need to get to a place where we're known for how we love each other. And so I take full responsibility, and I'm thanking God for this, because not only were they known for how they love each other, but we also need to be known for how we take care of the community. And that means the possessions that we have and we own, how are we doing the shalom of the city? How are we taking care of our zip code? How is our building being showing that we are loving our neighbors and that we're putting them in front of us? Like, what are we doing to show that we're putting them in front of us rather than putting ourselves in front of them and then making it seem like we got something that you got to get from us?
Right. They
Right?
almost like they have to come and beg.
Right. And I think if we start doing that, like really start practicing that, you'll never have to worry about a dollar. Because as I'm in the nonprofit world and I see all the money that these organizations have and that they're giving out, money is there. But we have to become intentional about being interested in the things that people are interested in. And I'll close with this is that y'all know I'm a big Apple fan. Can't tell me nothing about Apple. I
He should have bought
that.
stocks in the Apple.
But here's what was the genius about Steve Jobs. Before, when you bought computers, you would just have to look at it, take it home, and then when you got home, you decided whether you wanted it or not. Apple was like, yo, we're gonna change the whole game on how people buy computers. We're gonna open up our stores, put all our products there so that people can feel it, so that people can touch it, people can look at it, pick it up, type on the laptops, and then let them make a decision. So they were on the offense. They weren't locking up all their computers in a cage or in a box or in the back. They put their computers on the offense and said, come in. We don't care if you don't buy a computer, but I guarantee if you put your hands on this computer, there is something about this computer and the money we've invested in this that you might want to take one home. And if you don't take it home today, you're going to come back.
That's good.
And we're okay with you coming back and spending 2 hours doing whatever you need to do on our computers because they put it on the offense. And if churches can learn from that,
that's good.
If churches can learn to say, hey, that's good. You don't have to become a member, but come in here and sit down and get a full course meal. Come in here and be treated like a queen or a king. Here's a smoothie bar. Here's this. Here's that. Here's all the things that we offer. You don't got to join our church, but we just want to know that you come here. But listen, eventually, if you keep on coming back, you're probably going to say to yourself, I want to be a part of this movement. Because they loved radically. He changed the game. And I think right now we're in the space where we don't need to build bigger churches. We need to build bigger facilities that people can use so that they can feel welcomed and that they can be seen.
That's good right there. That's good right there. That's meat. That's some provision or some Edo or dashing.
Food.
That's food right there. Because we operate often on the defense. On the defense, not offense, right? Everybody has to look a certain way, dress a certain way, be a certain way in order for you to feel welcomed. You can come in, but in order for you to feel welcomed, you have to fit this criteria. You have to look a certain way. And so we need to adapt that Apple mentality where you just come, let them come. However they look, however they smell, whatever walks of life they've been. It's not necessarily for us to sit there and judge away or create scenarios of just let them come.
Yeah.
Because I think even our spaces don't allow other people to just want to come, right? Because we're concerned, oh my gosh, if they touch this or if they do this or if they, you know what I mean? Like create a space where you don't have to worry about if your stuff is going to get stolen or, like that's the first thing we think of when people that we don't know or people that look like they're struggling or strung out. The first thing we're like, okay, we got to hide our things or we got to do this to make sure. We're like, no, let people just feel comfortable. Let them just feel like, and if that happens as a result, it happens. But for that not to be the focus should be on reaching. I won't even say teaching, right? Because my thing is reaching and teaching.
Right.
Just reaching.
Right. And, and sometimes we have to be honest,
and
too.
Just reaching.
Sometimes we get caught up in the business of church, right? And the business model of appeasing, here it is, right? Appeasing 1% of the membership who feels like it needs to look a certain way because they have the purse strings or they have the money in their pockets. And so we cater to that 1% because usually it's usually that 1% that's the loudest, right? So let's take, for example, what's the guy? I was up for Joe Biden's infrastructure bill, right? So you had Cinema and this other guy, Manchin, that were just against it and all this other things, right? Because they're so concerned about spending and all this other stuff. The things that are in the bill, I'm assuming a lot of Americans would have are like okay with, right? We need that. We want broadband. We know that there's some houses that don't have internet service, right? So you've got people, a large percentage of people who want certain things, but you have two people who have a power of vote who are holding it back because why? They feel like it's too expensive or they feel like it's a problem if we do that and we can't get what the people are asking for. Now, I mean, that's broad scope, general. Other people may have different opinions with that, but just the principal idea, right? The principle of the fact that you have people, citizens, who are saying, like, I wouldn't mind having a child tax credit. I wouldn't mind having some of the things that are in this. But you have two people, a small majority, who are not letting it get to the people because they have a different idea about it. It's the same thing that happens in our churches, right? So I'll come in and be like, yo, let's turn this upside down and let's start doing something. I'll get the people in the pews who are like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this right away. We need to put food trucks here and there. But then I have to go back to the business side of that 1% who's going to say, no, that doesn't make no sense. And unfortunately, sometimes in church, and that's why I'm like, church is political. Sometimes I feel like I'm a politician more than a pastor, right? Because I'm dealing with people and personalities and who I can go eat dinner with and who I shouldn't eat dinner with and who to talk. All of that's political, right? Unfortunately, sometimes in churches, this is the political game that happens. That you have some people that will not want the pastor or a certain group to get a win or to do something because they're trying to keep power and hold on to what they've felt like they've had for so long. I'm promise you, I'm telling you that stuff happens. It is political. And I think Jesus, and we don't get to this when I talk about when Jesus talked about destroy the temple. Jesus is like, no, destroy your politics. Because you're holding back the people from getting what they need because you're more concerned about this political building that you have here and you're worshiping it rather than freedom. Because that's why when Jesus went into the temple and he flipped over the tables, what did he do immediately? He brought in the publicans and the sinners and all of those and the lame to come inside. And that was a political move by Jesus. That I don't care what nobody say. Jesus was very political in his way that he moved, and he was very political in overturning systems to help poor people. So I think the business of church is problematic in many ways when it comes to doing the work of the Lord. Because sometimes the business side oversees the spiritual or the part of it. Now, I'm not saying that we don't need it because we're collecting money. We got to know how to manage it. But we got to know where we're starting from and why we're collecting money. Because people give money because they want to see work done. That's why tithe is shifting from the Adventist Church to the Salvation Army, to the Goodwill, and to whatever charity people want to give it to because they're seeing work done. And people in America don't want to see work done in Africa. They want to see work done right here. And so those are some other things that we need to let go of the politics of it and start shifting it so that we're more about people than we are about positions and preserving politics.
Yep. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Because that chokehold is like those select few, it's like they literally hold it in a chokehold and they make it seem like it's the majority of the people. But they hold on to it so much that they kill it. And then when it's killed, they don't say it was because of me or point the finger at the leader and say that was you.
Right.
Under your watch. But yeah, it really has to shake up because the fact that that people feel empowered to step over people Like, how is that love?
Right.
How is that love where you are flexing your financial muscle, almost like threatening people, right? Making people feel threatened that if you don't move the way I want you to move, then I'm not going to support you anymore. I'm not going to financially back you anymore. Like, what kind of thing is that?
Right. Right. Because it creates, churches create selfish people, right? They create people who hurt other people, man. And it's because of we're so caught up in just power and being in the building that we're not actually getting out together. And I think if we break that up and if we start chipping away at that, it'll be my most impactful or most memorable moments as a Christian are those times when we used to go out in the community, or when I've done a mission trip, or when I'm talking to people. I can't remember what was impactful or memorable sitting in through a service.
But I think it's important because when you think about charity and justice, I think it's important to give other people. I think church should create opportunities for everybody, for people
Yeah.
to do both,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes I know it's hard, depending on where you are in life, depending on what you're doing. You may be a part of the church, but you may not be a part of the community. And that's crazy, right? You can
Right.
be sitting in the pew every Sabbath and no one knows about you, no one talks to you, no one even knows what's happening with your life. And so there's no connection. So you feel like, yo, I'm listening to y'all right now. Where do I start? Where do I go? Like, how do I begin I don't have the backing of my church people. I don't even have a connection like that. Like, where do I go? Where do I start? Like, what do you say to those people, those individuals that are in that position? Because I think when you have a community, you can move like a community. But when you don't have that community, what do you do? And you guys can definitely list some suggestions in the comment section. But what do you do? Where do you start? Where do you go from here after this conversation? Where do I go?
Right. So I think we need to start by brainstorming together. And like you said, the suggestions. But worship is supposed to be the celebration of salvation. That's why we come to church, to celebrate the fact that we are saved. Why it's hard for Adventists to celebrate is because some Adventists don't believe they're saved. Right? Remember, it goes back to you're still under investigation.
That works by
Yeah, like you ain't there yet. The blood of Jesus and the baptism was not enough.
It's not enough.
Not enough. So you can't even you can't celebrate salvation, right? So you're coming to hear me tell you how to be more saved.
How to be enough.
Right,
though.
how to be enough for God, right? So we need to start acknowledging that church is the celebration of salvation. That's what we hear. That's why we gather. That's why we sing. That's why we worship. And not only celebrating my salvation, I'm celebrating your salvation. That's why we gather. And so how does that celebration look? Does it have to look like a person preaching, or is that celebration like a get together? Sitting down at tables and just talking about how great and wonderful my week was. Like me and my small group, we did this and we were able to win somebody and they were interested in coming, like, right? And that's what we bring. So that's
and then
why
you'd be like, yeah, yo, all right, you tried this, maybe you could try that. You know what I mean? Like, give suggestions of, okay, I tried this, I did this, maybe you can try this way.
right, pastor get up and talk for 5 or 10 minutes. But we've been conditioned that church has to be from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And it has to look like sitting in the pews listening. But what if we brought in a DJ playing gospel music and we were just in there just having a great time and having drinks and celebrating? I am saved, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I'm so glad that you are saved as well. I promise you, if you do that, if you invite somebody to that, they'll be like, yo, I want to be where the party at, right? Because this is what the Bible says. Heaven rejoices over one sinner that repented. The whole heaven is like Holy Ghost party.
Right.
Because imagine how heaven is rejoicing when people get baptized and when we come together to celebrate with heaven the joy of salvation. But not only do we have moments for the celebration, we need to be intentional about creating opportunities to have moral discussion and about things that are affecting other people from not having the ability to celebrate salvation. So not only we partying over here because we've been saved, but then now we need to start talking about how do we invite more people to the party? And what are the ways that we can invite them to this party? Because this is good. It's just like when you eat at a good restaurant, you don't keep that to yourself.
Right.
You be like, yo, you gotta go there. Yo, the food is off the chain, bro. Like, yo, we need to create churches where people are leaving and they're like, yo, City Temple. I mean, what's that place that people telling us about? South Dallas, whatever. People are already telling me about how great it is and how wonderful it is. And I'm like, that's fine and dandy. But we need to create those opportunities. So I have like a whole chart with all of that stuff and how it works. But sometimes implementation is the hardest part in getting people to support it because it's a radical paradigm shift.
And I think it's even harder because you're really going against every grain of the Adventist church when you pose an idea like that, right? When you pose a concept like that, it's
I'm getting rid of Hammond. I'm putting a DJ up in there
because it's almost like what? This is counter everything the Adventist church has known. Like, what are you talking about? That I tell you, they're not ready.
Right.
They definitely not ready. But but you can't sit there and wait for people to be ready because they won't. Those staunch Adventists will never be ready for transformational ministry like this.
And you preaching to me because just like the church wasn't ready, they weren't ready for Jesus.
They really wasn't. Like look what the church straight.
They were not ready for this
look
radical.
What the church straight did.
Yeah, this radical guy who's talking about destroy buildings. This dude was walking and trampling on corn. He was walking on water.
On the Sabbath.
He's telling me, I'm giving you a new commandment. He's like, they were not ready. And what did they do? The system bucked against them. Like one of the reasons why they hated Jesus was because he did not want to be a part of their system.
Yep.
They were like, yo, you powerful, Jesus. You know, man, you know scripture, you know the law. Why don't you come be with one of us? Jesus like, nope, I don't need you. I don't want you because you trample on poor people.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is great because I hope that as a leader, as a pastor, and I know you have a lot of pressure on you and you serve in different generations in your congregation and you're trying to balance what can appease both because you don't want to leave one out and then you don't want to focus on one. So it's really hard to do that. But honestly, if you like Jesus, you really gotta shake it up. Like, Jesus didn't have he had a lot of followers, right? But his followers were true followers. He didn't have the followers that were like when he what's those people like a puppet, or tramp. What's that thing like a
puppeteer, ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. Like Jesus had like people that were like, "Yo, I'll die for you, Jesus." Like, "Yo, I'm riding with you, Jesus." And I feel like I know we kind of think that line, right? Of like, okay, we can't really jump because if we jump, we're not gonna have this, we're not gonna get that, people gonna straight call us we're a straight Babylonian. I mean, like straight DJ, like real talk, like a DJ. Oh, as Cheryl said, she said, you talk about DJ, they still on drums, like they still struggling with drums. Right. So a DJ is like it's really like taking it to the next level. But again, I guess you really have to be so focused on the purpose, your why. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because this other way is not working. Right. It's not helping nobody. It's not really like saving lives. Like, I mean, maybe it is saving lives. I'm not gonna lie. God's work will continue to be God's work regardless of whatever. And I want to make sure that's clear. But I feel like we really have to shake it up for the benefit of the souls that are just like, I'm tired of the same thing over and over. I need something different.
And I think you said it. And I want to emphasize it. We should not just be in the business of saving souls. We should also be in the business of saving lives.
Yes.
like, what does it take to save someone's
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
Right? And I think we
Yeah.
got so caught up in saving your soul for the afterlife, for impending doom and impending
Yeah.
judgment. But I need to know how to save your life for the immediate. Because people are facing impending judgment, impending death right now. And I think that we need to decentralize church. We need to look at how the system, and if we come to the place to where we're saying like the system is a blockage to really doing ministry and to people, then we have to say it's time to, the system has to come down. This empire needs to shake up and change. If that's the case, if it is stopping the work of God from being done in fresh and innovative and creative ways, that we need to pivot to be able to reach souls and to start doing the things that people care about, not what we care about, but what they care about. And because we have the handbook, the Bible, that gives us instruction, right, to how to minister to people's needs and how to be engaged with our neighbors. We have to start asking ourselves some serious questions, because if you don't, we're going to continue to see what we're seeing right now. The percentage of numbers are decreasing day by day and week by week, and you got to free these people to make mistakes. And when you become radical, you got to be prepared to be called a radical. Right? And I think that comes with it too. Be called a radical and people will shoot you. But if you into saving lives, then we have to do what that means and define what saving lives mean.
Yo, Michelle, what's up, Michelle?
Yo,
My girl.
Yo.
She's like, it's so hard for traditionalists to see alternatives to congregational gathering as trying to compromise, right?
Yeah.
Different things reach different people. And I think that's what I was, when you were talking, I was just like, you know, you'll have people on the opposing side saying, you're not paying attention.
I am.
You have
I could
people,
do more than one thing.
you have people on the opposing side saying, if you have a DJ in the church, and that's all they're going to focus on, right? They're not going to focus on the fact that we need to change this up and we need to start saving lives, and that we need to really change the way that we are loving on people. They're not going to hear that. They're going to hear that Pastor Jaime, Pastor Calasar is over here on live talking about he wants to bring a DJ inside the church. But what I'm saying, what my point is, when you think about this side that says, well, we need to keep things very conservative. We need to keep things in order because God is a God of order and yada, 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 right? That's not saving. That's not that concept, that construct is not saving or reaching who it needs to reach. It's reaching a certain sect. And unfortunately, who it's reaching is they're dying.
Right.
They're dying, right? Then you have this side of the celebration, the celebratory Sabbaths, right? Be like, yo, you're reaching who you need to reach. The point of it is, who cares what the model is, or what's the word I'm looking, like you talk about the MP track, whatever. It doesn't matter what mode it is. The point is, are they being reached? Are people being reached? Are lives being changed? Are they being called into a loving relationship with Christ? Are they seeing the love of Christ? That should be the question we should be asking, not, oh my gosh, the church is going to the dogs because look at them, they partying in church. Church is now a party. You can't tell the difference between a party and how you know. Have you been there?
Right. And I think the ultimate question is, are we saving souls or are we saving lives? And Jesus was saving lives. Like, he literally was setting captives free. He literally was healing people so that they can go back to the temple, so that they can be grafted back into society. And so, to save a soul it's just preaching and getting, well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but I would say it doesn't go all the way, right? Because it just gets people into the pool. We baptize them, make them revows, baptize them, and then we put them in the pew. But if I'm going to save your life, then I'm going to jump into the boat with you. I'm going to jump into the water with you. Or if I'm going to save your life, like Amber is sick, right? I'm not just going to pray for her. I want to make sure that she stays alive, that this sickness does not overtake her. So I'm going to take you to the hospital. I'm going with you. I'm going to get you whatever medicine you need. And so I think for us that we need to start looking at, if we're out here talking about saving lives, then we need to look at what are those things that are causing people to die? What are those policies? What are those systems of injustice that's killing people, right? And so my motto and my creed is social justice is repair. We do social justice as repair because God calls us the repairers of the breach. Because injustice breaks people down. The main tool of white supremacy is to make you tired. And as a pastor and as a leader, and I'm looking at my people and I see their tiredness and their weariness, and I see them crying out, I got to find out what's making them do that. And then I go get the Pharaoh. I go after the Pharaoh. And whether that Pharaoh is minimum wage, whether that Pharaoh is sitting in City Hall, whether that Pharaoh is pronouncing policies and laws, or they sit in Austin or they sit in Washington, D.C., my job as a Moses of the people is to tell Pharaoh your system is coming down. And even if that Pharaoh is within this church that is ostracizing and marginalizing and treating women like stepchildren, then my job is to call you out, Pharaoh. Because like the children of Israel that says they cried out to God. When they cried out, that Hebrew says they were tired and they could not breathe. They had ran out of breath and they cried out to God. So we have to be engaged in saving lives. And what does it mean to save a life? How do we use our resources, our talents, our gifts, our whatever we have, so that we can save people's lives? Because that's the work Jesus did. That's why he says, much as you have done unto, he's like, naked you ain't clothed, hungry you ain't feed me, you didn't care about my life. He said, when did we see you and we ain't do these things? As much as you have done unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. Get the hell away from me. Go to hell. That's basically what he said. Go to hell. So we need to pivot and start having a conversation about, are our churches engaged in the business of saving lives?
I don't even know. I think we're beyond conversation at this point.
Oh, are we saving lives?
I think,
and how do we save lives?
I think it's a matter of how are we going to?
Yeah.
It's an action, right? It's not sitting down, because I feel like I'm conversationed out. Like I've heard enough conversations about this. So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to have conversations, or are we just going to do and start doing in our own spaces as much as we can, and really being about it and not being afraid and not being tired? Because as you said, it's there to make you feel tired, because you're constantly feeling like you're going against the grain. But if you are in it for the work of saving a life, just one, I guarantee that what needs to be or come will come and will be. But we just have to stay the course in knowing that we're about saving lives.
Yeah.
Period.
So people are asking action plans. So I'm going to put this ask out there. We need your ideas. Send it to us. Facebook, you're on Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on Facebook and send it. But I'm going to put this ask out there. I've got an idea that I want one Sabbath morning to line up MLK Boulevard with food trucks and to pay them for the day to just give people meals in South Dallas, right? And to just give people meals, and we spend time just being out in the community, praying and showing love, right? Showing love through our resources to say, hey, and then through that, after we do that, let's come back together for a powwow and let's talk about how do we make sure that people have food, not just once a week, but that they have a way to have food all the time. So that conversation, that program, or whatever we do, should lead to a discussion about how do we build a supermarket? What do we need to do? And maybe somebody who's listening right now knows what to do or how to do it. But that's been one of my dreams to do in the southern sector of Dallas, to do a fresh market or to do a supermarket with affordable prices for food that all people can buy and have fresh produce. Like produce, fresh vegetables, urban gardens, right? gardens, and a full blown out supermarket. So let's talk about the charity. Let's talk about the justice. But let's get your ideas. I'm going to put together a team, as I told the Church of City Temple, a team of people to work on this project to talk about how we can close church twice a week to be out in the community and have celebrations on the other two and moving forward.
But talking about what you just said, and I feel like the supermarket would be like the justice piece of it, right? The social justice piece would be the charity, excuse me, this charity piece would be going and doing this food truck thing, right?
Right.
But I feel like the a lot of times there are people already doing the work.
That's true. How can we partner, right?
How can we partner with organizations to help, or even be able to do something to kind of shake it up to add to it, right? Because a lot of times, again, we operate in this ecosystem of just, it's just us, and we also don't like to share our thoughts or our ideas because we're afraid that people gonna steal them. It's ministry. It's saving lives. Who cares? If you want to replicate this very same thing in Chicago, if you want to replicate this thing over in the UK, it's ministry. So it shouldn't be about, yo, I don't want to give my idea because they might take credit for it, or I don't want to give my idea because it's my idea. Yo, bump that. When you come at the feet of Jesus, we come at all the same, right? It don't matter how great your idea is or how you may feel like your idea isn't that great. The point is saving lives. So I feel like partnering with other organizations to see who's doing the work and how we can go and try to say, okay, maybe there is an organization that goes and gives out lunches. Okay, how do we partner with that organization to be able to continue to do what they're doing, or give them support, added support? Or, okay, we want to do something else. What organizations out there are already doing the work, and how can we make it better or add that touch of love, right? Add our own splash, our own swag to it, to make it what it needs to be. But I think that's also something you can consider.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that we're gonna start engaging in on at City Temple is setting the captives free. Is I'm gonna work with a nonprofit, and we're literally gonna bail people out of jail, set the captives free. Um, it's particularly individuals who do not need to be sitting inside of a jail because of a low petty crime offense. But we're gonna set the captives free. But we also need this, right? When we set the captives free, we also need systems in place so that when they're set free, that they can have a job, they can get whatever they need in order to survive. So those are just some ideas and some things that you'll be hearing from me more, and we'll talk about. But no, we'd love to hear your ideas and all the other stuff, things like that. As you can see, my speech is slurring because I'm getting tired. Like I have like literally a battery, and after a while, I was like, my battery's starting to go dead.
Which is cool because we've been on for a minute, but
Oh shoot, an hour and 44 minutes.
we've been on for a minute.
We talk a lot.
And yes, our community of people, yes, we do talk a lot. We do talk a lot.
And so next week, I think I'm going to be talking about and praying about it, radical reconciliation. For people don't like, for my sermon series. And so I'm going to be dealing with the topic of what does radical reconciliation looks like. That's it.
Do that. Do that. And I think to end this live, I think it's really important for
You want to sing?
us to know. I think it's really important for us to not get tired. Don't get tired, y'all.
Yeah.
You know, the easiest thing is to just give up, chuck the deuces, and just be whatever. We need you. We need you. God needs you to be able to be conduits of change, conduits of saving the lives of people that are around you in your community, in our community. So don't get tired of in well doing. We're gonna come back. If you guys can just real talk, just share your ideas and somehow we can generate it to everyone else so everyone can also have those ideas that they can implement in their churches, because we don't want to be stingy with it.
That's right. I
And
pray
then,
for
okay,
you.
all right, okay.
You
First of all, you don't
pray
even
for-
like that song.
But it's so appropriate. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth.
You don't even
I
like that song.
love you.
Okay.
I need you to survive. It is His
I thought you were
will
tired.
that everything.
You don't even know the words. You don't even know the
You
words.
are important to me. I need you to survive. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's what Hezekiah Walker
No,
does.
he does not.
He goes,
No, he doesn't. He does not do that.
come on now, take it up
Please
an octave higher.
stop, go
You
left. No, don't, Jamie. Please don't. Please,
Exactly.
I beg.
Carlene with the Sandman move.
Yes. Go that way.
That's
Actually,
right.
no. Exit
That's
stage
right.
left. Go that way.
It is a side eye for me. Thank you,
Yeah,
y'all.
like what?
Every time I try to
You know what? I don't mind. Oh, this is an appeal?
Yeah.
Oh, you do your own appeal.
I do my own
Like,
appeals now.
You straight appealing and singing the appeal song.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
I want to see that done in real time in church.
This is real time right here.
No.
This is my congregation.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. Whew.
This is my congregation.
Lord have mercy. But he don't even like that song. I'm surprised you singing that song like that, because you really don't like that song. You be like, every time that song come on, you be like, oh gosh.
Because we killed that song.
It's true.
Yo,
we have
killed
definitely
that song.
made
There
that
wasn't
song.
a week that went by, no matter what church you went in, where they weren't singing that song.
It's true, but it's a nice song,
It's a
right?
nice
Because
song.
maybe that will be the theme song of,
It's a nice 8-word song. It only has like 8 words.
But that's Hezekiah Walker, right? He's very consistent. We know that he's going to always deliver
Yeah.
a 1-sentence song that's going to last for at least 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. A minute per word.
And modulation per word, per sentence or phrase or whatever.
Facts.
But y'all, please stay the course. Stay the course.
Hold me accountable. Hold us accountable.
Yes, because we've been talking about this, and I wish Chi was on here, because Chi was over here like, yo, he seems like he's straight like up. He's like mad because he was like, I'm tired of talking. Like, what we gonna do? Like, it's time to act.
Oh shoot. I got a little bit of energy for that. I got a little energy for that. Remix. Yo, all right, I'm gonna let you do your closing.
I'm done now, because I really tried to close it with words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement.
And this dude is over here singing, and he's trying to. I'm done. Over and out.
And they want to hear the bars. They want to hear the bars. They want to hear the bars up in the sky like they are stars. Listen to me as we go very far. My rhymes is basic, but they are laced with the kind of stuff that you need to make it. Understand we need each other to survive, and that ain't no lie. We got to thrive and we got to stay fly. If we don't do it together, we will die. Understand that the church is here to save people's lives. And what we're going to do that is going to be our 9 to 5. As we go and we feed the people, we ain't trying to get them inside the steeple. We trying to do away with the evil, the evilness of injustice. We know that it's a must, kid, and understand that that thing is funky, feeling kind of musty. But I must be on my P's and Q's. Check what I say, you know what I do, and how I go through. I'm never ever through. I'm going to show you what the love of God is. I'm chilling with my boo. You know who that is. The C to the R, the L-E-N-E. Ain't nobody better than my Q-E-E-N-E. Queenie. That's what I'm saying. That's what I call her. Please believe me. But understand this. I'm rocking with it. And I'm not going to ever quit. white supremacy or the rules of standard try to make me tired. But Jesus gives me that Holy Ghost fire shot up in my bones. I'm never alone. I kick these hip hop rhymes from the dome. Understand this as we go on and on. And as we continue to sing that song, the song of peace, the song of ease, to raise these people up out of the streets, out the gutter of life. We know they in the valley, but we understand that we got the one that is stronger than all. His name is Jesus. Do it with ease. So please just let us do what we do as we come through with the money and with the resources. I got a whole bunch of flavor like sauces. Call me Chick-fil-A, you know what I say? I got Polynesian, and I'ma do this with ease. I even got the Chick-fil-A sauce, because I don't play. What I mean by that is I got a different tool to help you out, to get you out of this situation. Listen to me, sit down and go to school. You ain't no fool. We understand that our Lord and Savior, he's the one that rules, and I'm sitting on this couch. I'm making this thing hot. So hot that we're gonna make the devil say ouch. Yes, that's it. My bars get better than the leather, better than the weather that I'm sticking to. I see that smirk on your face, but you just got a taste of the illest rhymes that I ever did this time. The people are in the chat going crazy. They know that Jamie is not lazy. They understand that the people try to play me, but I got more flows and rhymes than Jay-Z, Jigga Man, Sean Carter. Put me together, I rap and I go harder and I go farther. I am a father, but don't ever try to get in the way of my kids. You'll be a bother. And understand that we gotta go as we get hotter and hotter, not colder and colder. I see you looking over there as you try to diss me. You getting older and older. Fold ya, and then I hold ya. Check what I say, listen to what I'm saying. Man, I already told y'all that I ain't the one to mess with. I'm blessed, kid. I never stop. I'm never stressed, kid, but I always know I give more than less, kid. Don't try to test this kid, because this kid will not split your wig, but he'll love on you and give you a hug, because I'm the first thug with a slug, and I don't even have to mean mug. Understand that God is in me. I can't get enough. It's like I'm on them drugs going in my veins. He reigns supreme, never trying to leave the one and only team. He's with me everywhere I go, because I'm scoring and I'm touring, and understand that God is for us, and this is never ever gonna be boring. Yo, what y'all doing? I don't even know. But I do know you can't mess with me, because I ain't your average Joe. Matter of fact, I'm extraordinary J. I don't play. Listen to what I say. And as I go through, understanding, I am grasping that we got to pivot. And I ain't just gonna talk about it. Your boy's about to live it. My God. I just like, I'm at the place where I'm just like, I can't even imagine or think about how nice I am with the rhyming. Just a few bars. That's right. I ain't want to give y'all too much because I've been away for a point. You know what I'm saying? I'm still stuck on the slug. Yeah, Teresa, you know, I got bars like that, Teresa, and we don't stop. Facts, D. I'm gonna put this in my next sermon. Yo, check out the comments, yo. The people going wild. They like
head.
this. They like this.
I want to laugh. I want to like scream, holler, but unfortunately I cannot. Um, I need to hold. I'm holding it in because
You want to laugh?
yeah, but I just want to know like.
Were you laughing at the devil?
No, no, no. I'm not laughing at the devil.
he
I
ain't on
guess
my
what
level.
I guess what's probably happening right now is just like I don't know. Like I definitely believe there are some really great parts as usual, right? I always
Some?
say that there's some good. Can I speak, please? And it's okay to take uh what you call it. What's the word I'm looking for? It's okay to take criticism sometimes because it makes you stronger and it builds you and makes you better, right?
That's what she said.
That's what I said. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
But I feel like I don't
I
know,
would
like
take criticism if there was something to criticize, but I think in what I just did, there is nothing there to criticize. It's just to actualize and realize that the flyest on the mic, and anybody who does try it, they not doing right.
You're enough. you're you're enough. I'll just leave it at that. You're enough. Yeah.
I don't know how to take that
What do you mean?
because
I don't understand.
it sound like what you're trying to say is that is that is that I need convincing and knowing that I'm enough. But I know I am enough because my rhymes are tough
Right.
and they're not full of fluff.
Gosh.
And I got the stuff
Oh Lord, here we go.
that keeps it rugged and rough. And I make all my haters go puff.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, I want to cry real tears. Um. You crazy. Oh, this guy that the Lord has blessed me with. Oh, I praise you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord, because Lord. Oh gosh, I
I'm
don't understand.
confused.
I'm trying to. You're confused.
I'm absolutely
I'm
confused.
confused because I'm over here like, what is happening? Like,
I know they were so mind blowing that you just mesmerized.
I don't. I don't. Uh, I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to save lives. That's what I'm about. Saving lives.
Y'all already
I'm not
know.
trying to tear nobody down.
Y'all already know. At the end of every show, we got to go through
No,
this.
like it's nothing to go through. I
Yo,
there were some really great. There were some parts. There were some. No. Real talk. There were parts in there that I was just like, okay. I hear his smile. Okay, I hear his rhyming. He good. And then sometimes it just feels like your words are like it don't make sense. And like like when people rap, they stick to like a certain topic, but you just kind of go all over.
see. That's the method to my madness. Is that I take you through curves. If I kept it going straight, you wouldn't know how to appreciate. So I gotta learn how to take you through curves, and then I'll bring you back. But I'm gonna get you to the destination. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to go through curves. When I'm listening to something, I just want you to hit it, quit it, and just.
Well, that's that mumble rap.
That's not mumbling.
That's mumble rap. That's Now I don't do that. I get people.
That's not rumble.
I get
mumble.
people. I get people sustenance. You know what I'm saying? I do that. That's what I do, and that's how I do what I do. And I just want you to know that I do this for you. I do these rhymes for you.
For me, why you doing for me?
Because I love you.
I asked for them though. The people asked for them.
Nah, it's because sometimes love gives you what you don't even know what you need. That's what love do. And then my fans online, yo, heart emoji. You know what I'm saying? The heart emoji. All y'all get that. All y'all get the heart emojis. This is the heart emojis flying up in the chat. Heart emojis. Thank y'all for rocking with me, for being some of my biggest supporters throughout these past months. Couldn't do this without the people, and I do it for the people too because
But I thought you said you did it for me.
You are special people, and they are the people.
I'm a person.
You're a special person, and they are the people. So I do it for all of them. I just do it because I'm just a generous person. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ask for nobody to pay me. I don't ask for no money. I just do this because the people love it, man. I love the people. And I'm going to keep sharing my love through rhymes because I'm good at it. I'm like really good at it. Exactly. Thank you, D. Teach this man tip pastors to rap as a part of their training. Exactly. Touch two people and say tour facts.
Yes, Vanessa.
But what? Oh,
when we starting that support group? Is it today?
Can we do it today? Norman, yo.
Can we do it today? Because I feel like I need support right now because I don't know what just happened, but people like it, and I guess people like it, so just do it for the people, as you said. Yeah, I'm just okay.
Throw your hearts up in the sky, wave them side to side.
Put your hands on your hearts down. You off the chain. But anyway, you know it's time for him to go because clearly before he talked about how his speech slurring, he's tired. Tired where?
I never get tired for the people though to rap.
Great.
Yeah. So next week we'll be back. I'm gonna have them hot bars. We're gonna have them hot topics. If you enjoyed the conversation, please share it with your friends, with your family, and we got nothing but love for y'all.
Yes, and don't forget to send us. Don't be on here. I'm saying don't be. I know I'm not grammatically correct, but don't be out here talking about, yeah, let's change this, and you don't send nothing. So again, if you have a suggestion to share, go ahead and hit Jamie up in his inbox. You can hit me up too, but you can send it to him, and we'll somehow he'll respond, and we'll just kind of vibe. And next show we'll talk about those suggestions. But just don't be like, I'm gonna sit on here and just listen to them talk and not do nothing.
Word.
We're not about that life anymore. We saving lives.
Word.
And this is Carlene.
So this is Mixtape J and DJ Lean.
Wait, I have my own way of going out.
All right. Can you say you're DJ Lean?
No, I'm not DJ Lean. I'm not a DJ. I'm Carlene. Period.
Just for today.
Oh.
Mixtape J
and Carlene.
DJ.
Carlene.
DJ.
Stop. I'm Carlene.
DJ Lean.
There is no DJ nothing. This is Carlene, and we'll see you guys next week, God willing. Have a phenomenal week. We believe that change is on the way.
That's right.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all. Mixtape J, DJ Lean.
Carlene.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.